Hello and welcome to this week's video. If you remember, last week I shared my 11 favorite YouTube photographers. This week I'm sharing my 11 favorite YouTube nerds. Now, most of these YouTubers are also photographers, many are, but I put them in the nerd category because they're a little more emphasizing the gear or some of the other things besides just strictly photography stuff, and or they are a little more video gear oriented, and video gear has become a little more important in my life as I've working on this channel and some other things as well as online classes. So let's get started. Here we are with number 1, Tyler Bell. Now I have a connection to Tyler Bell. I'm proud to say I was his photography teacher a few years ago at Highline College. He took a couple classes from me. Tyler was a running start student who did his AA, so his 2-year degree, and his high school diploma all at the same time. So Tyler's a motivated young man. Lots of fun in his videos. He currently is working at Boeing, I'm pretty sure. I'd hope to go hang out with him. He lives not too far from me, and create some videos together, but COVID. So Tyler does a lot of work with metal. And his family's allowed him to convert the garage into his workshop, and he does some really cool stuff. He has a lot of fun. He also does some fun videos where he made a kind of a Wile E. Coyote dynamite plunger, battery powered, and it just sends an electrical signal to do stuff. He's made a beverage holder for his one wheel. He's made a blast shield like the folks at Mythbusters have. He's just done some cool stuff, and he's just got great energy, and I'm so glad he's having good success with his YouTube channel. Go check him out for something a little different and a lot of fun to watch and learn from. He's a great problem solver, super creative, and it's just, again, fun to watch him work, especially since I know him a little bit. All right, so that's Tyler Bell, number 1. All right, number 2 is a fellow teacher. His name is Tom Buck. He is in California, and his channel has grown quite a bit over the past year or so, and I like watching him. It's a little bit like watching a younger version of myself sometimes. He's got dad jokes. He's got equipment review. He does a lot of stuff on audio and equipment for making videos like this, and it's been super helpful to expose me to some gear that I'm currently using. And in this video he just released last week actually showed me something new on my audio interface that I didn't know about. And so bonus points for showing me how to turn my interface light from green to blue. So Tom Buck's a lot of fun, good stuff, camera stuff, video stuff, audio interface stuff, workflow stuff, lots of different things, podcasting information. So great variety, good presence, fun to watch, fun to feel like you get to know somebody a little bit along the way. He doesn't know it, but I call him my YouTube friend Tom around here. So anyway, that's Tom Buck. Next channel up here in the YouTube nerd category is a photographer, Andrew and Danae, husband and wife team. They a duo in Utah. Both are photographers, and lots of equipment reviews. I've hooked up to them. I got connected to them because they are also Fuji photographers, as am I and all the other cool photographers out there. No, it doesn't matter what camera you use. But so I've learned a lot about some different Fuji options, some different points of view, some different perspectives. When Andrew goes out and does photography, he's often doing in some small towns and just emphasizing the state of a small town as they sometimes decay a little bit. So he likes those kind of photographs. I do too. So that's often what he's working on, in addition to talking about lenses and gear and a philosophy of photography that I really enjoy. Next up is the channel Pal to Tech with Chris Lee, the host, and another Fuji photographer. That's how I connected to this channel. Really good information, again, about cameras, about lenses. And one of the cool things I really like that Chris does is he'll also do some of the software and settings for camera for specific situations, some of the things you might not normally come across, but once you know about it, it's super helpful. And it's like, how did I not know that? It makes my life easier. So good technical stuff, fun presentation. He's also got a Saturn V rocket behind him, so you know he must be pretty cool. Fuji, nerdy, gear, tech stuff. Pal to tech. Next up, in the nerd category, Gerald Undone. Gerald is not a Fuji photographer. So we're moving out of the Fuji photographer category into some folks who are using other systems, plus they're a little more video oriented. So I've appreciated Gerald's review of lights. He talks about specs and stuff that I semi-understand and sometimes have to look up, which is really good. Lots of detail, good depth, and fun presentations, some equipment that I wouldn't normally be aware of. So I'm glad there's a lot of discovery here for me, and I'm really grateful for it. Before the COVID shutdown, he was doing an occasional series where he would visit other YouTubers in their studio and their setup and kind of do a tongue-in-cheek review of their setup and critique. Those were fun. I hope he gets to get back to doing that when life returns a little more to normal. Next up is Dunna. I don't know his last name. I should find that out. Dunna Did It is the channel name, and he's a photographer, music producer, musician in Canada. And he's recently, I believe, gone to full-time YouTube. Another one where you're going to get some gear, emphasis on the camera with some video applications for camera, but he's primarily a photographer slash designer slash musician. Lots of fun personality in his presentations and videos. This last one on the gimbals versus in-body image stabilization was quite fun. He had a couple fun elements in his video, so good production values, fun to watch, entertaining, informative, and even a little educational. Next up, we have Caleb Pike on a DSLR video shooter. As the name implies, he's a video shooter who uses DSLRs and other cameras. As my life has transitioned a little into adding, not a little, but a lot into adding video into what I'm doing, I've learned so much from this channel, and I've gotten some really great information on resources. The light I'm using over here, I learned about from him, plus the lights back here, the Aperture MCs. So just a great resource for things for me that were new to me as I learned and am still learning lots about video. Good reviews, practical tips. He tries to stay relatively affordable. He's not using the latest and greatest, well, not the most expensive things. He's also got a whole series of videos on, the best monitor for under X price, the best microphone for this, the best this, that, and the other thing. So lots of good information, lots of depth, lots of variety. I think you'll enjoy it. Plus, he's been doing it for a long time, and yeah, he's just got it figured out. Another guy that's been doing it for a long time, Kai Wong. He's based in the UK right now, but another tech person. He does lots of gear stuff, kind of short-term reviews, not super duper in depth, but he'll walk around and show you some of the initial impressions as he gets his hands on new gear, like this Sony Alpha A1 he's looking at here. Alpha A1, Alpha 1, A1, whatever it is, the Sony camera of the week. And he'll do reviews on gimbals and drones and lenses and other things. So cross-platform as far as camera systems. So he's broad in his perspective and his information you will find out from him. So lots and lots of good stuff here. Sense of humor, pretty doggone good. I do enjoy it. I've giggled a few times. So I highly recommend Kai stuff. He's been around a while, so he's got this YouTube thing figured out. Another photographer based in London, Matthew Vandeputte, is originally from Belgium by way of Australia back to London, where he currently lives in what he calls the Sky Palace. He has this cool apartment with a great deck where he can see downtown London, and he is a time-lapse photographer. It's not as hard to say as I just made that, sorry. And he has lots of tutorials, tips, resources for time-lapse photography. That's his main emphasis. I put him in the nerd category because time-lapse is kind of nerdy. It involves kind of the best of both worlds. It's both photography and videography. It's the software side, the technical side, some math, some technique, just the repetition of doing something, especially when you're trying to get, cloud photos, dramatic skies. You don't know what you're going to get, and you just have to start and see what happens. So this video was about predicting epic sunsets, and got some cool stuff in there. So go ahead and take a look at Matthew's stuff, see what you think. Lots of personality as well. Again, these are, I think all these people, I don't think, I know all these people that I've got in this list would be fun to have a hamburger with, or beer, or a beverage, or sit down and watch a movie with. Anyway, somebody to just have a conversation with. Anyway, moving on. Next up is the biggest channel in all this, Matti Haapoja. He's just hit 1 million subscribers. Matti is connected to Peter McKinnon. I'm not sure exactly the whole story behind that. I used to follow Peter, subscribe to his stuff, but it's not quite my daily cup of tea. So Matti is a little closer to that, photographer and videographer. Lots of fun personality in his videos. He gets his son involved oftentimes, which is a lot of fun as well. I just recently started watching his stuff more regularly. So I like what I've seen so far, and so do at least 1 million other YouTube folks. Next up, number 11 on my 11 favorite YouTube nerds, Patrick. Patrick Rambles is the channel. He does a little bit of everything, a lot about gear, some iPad and mobile stuff, computer stuff, photography stuff, a little bit of video, a little bit of lighting. I'm relatively recent to his channel, so I haven't watched a ton of his stuff, but what I've seen I like. It's simple, straightforward, very personable, and a few things along the way that I was like, oh, I wasn't aware of that. So again, another resource that's exposed me to some things, because there's so many things out there that I just wasn't aware of. Give him a try, help him grow his channel. He's one of the smaller ones here, and he's growing, learning, and figuring out how to do this YouTube life. Aren't we all? Anyway, so that's my 11 favorite YouTube nerds, a little bit of everything from some photographers to videographers. And as always, it's fun to remember how much great content is out there, how much folks are willing to share what they've learned, and help us all know a little bit more as we try and create and do what we want to do. So I hope this has been helpful. If you have a nerd on YouTube that I need to know about, please add them in the comments below. Would love to hear that. And hear that. I guess I would see it. I don't hear the comments. I see them. Yeah. Funny how we use language that... Anyway, all right. So hope you've enjoyed this video. I look forward to seeing you next time. And until we meet again, take care, wear a mask, be safe, wash your hands, have fun creating photos. And... that's it for now.